Far Away, a book of short stories by John Crawford, published September 2017. Betty's old guy. John is in a nice nursing home. Every morning when he awakes, he wonders, though, how much longer he will be in the nursing home. He has been without his adored wife Betty for a while now. After Betty passed away, life lost much of its flavor. Ensuing years have made it a little more palatable. The wonder of Betty is she truly loves John. He never thought much of his looks. As far as she was concerned, he was a matinee idol. He doubted his worth as a writer. As far as she was concerned, his writing was very much worth the read. He worried his intellect would intimidate her. As far as she was concerned, it only motivated her to outsmart him every chance she got. His missing her has not diminished since the day she passed away. Sarah, an attractive young woman with black hair, is an aide in the nursing home. "How are you today, Sarah?" "I'm good, John, and you?" "I'm doing better now that you are here." "Ah, the charmer. It's all I have left, dear." "More than enough, John." "You are sweet. So what can you tell an 81-year-old guy about your plans for this evening that will make him jealous?" "Let's see, John. Dinner for the hubby, for the two kids, doing laundry, and the bills. Jealous?" "Yes, Sarah, as a matter of fact. I bet your dinner is terrific." "Hey, thanks, John. Though the meals here are good, but you can be jealous." "Okay then, so I have dibs on the leftovers." "Yes, thanks, Sarah. But considering your meals being so good and all, will there be leftovers?" "I will make sure." "Oh, thank you so much, my dear." "You are welcome. Isn't it remarkable how those of us in our later years, food becomes quite the pleasure?" "I do hear that from a lot from the others." "You're having a nice day today, Sarah." "Yes, John, we are. And they say the rest of the week will be nice too. No snowstorms." "Ah, that's good. Look at the way it's piling up out there. A few more inches and the snow will be at the windowsill." "Of course, John, the kids love it. They can't wait to go to the park and snowslide." "How old are they, Sarah?" 8 and 10. "Oh, yes, good ages for that kind of fun." For Betty, snow was the other four-letter word. Well, that's funny. Yeah, Betty was not a snow bunny. "You okay, John? You seem kind of tired." "I am, Sarah. I don't know why. I had a good night's sleep except for that damn you-know-what, but I am used to that." "Well, take a nap whenever you want to." "Okay. By the way, how long have I been here at the nursing home?" "A month, John. Why?" "Just wondering. Have I told you about Betty?" "Yes, your wife. The two of you were very much in love." "We were, Sarah, and we are. She is in the spirit world, you know. I haven't heard from her lately. No signs that I could pick up on anyway. I wonder why. Do you think she is coming back? Reincarnation and all that?" Sarah took John's hand. "Wouldn't that be something, John?" "It would, Sarah. It would. Would you like some tea and a biscuit with strawberry jam?" "My favorite, Sarah. Yes, take your time. I'm not going anywhere." John's sister, Pat, convinced him it was time to be in a home. And it didn't take much convincing. He had a fall and lay unconscious for a day. And of course, that got the conversation going. She found a nice one in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. It was expensive, but he could afford it, thanks to Betty and a dream. John grew up reading the classics and rereading them throughout his life. After Betty's passing and retirement from social work, he embarked on a writing journey. The waters he navigated were literary. The joke between him and his sister Pat was, "I've been on this writer's craft for a few years now, and the fish are not biting." He self-published 5 books and sales amounted to less than 100. Then one morning, as he was in the kitchen, sipping coffee and missing Betty, as always, the night's dream came to him. Betty was on the writer's craft, and a storm was brewing. It was hard to hear her above the wind. "What's that, hon?" "You want cereal, Betty?" "No, sweetheart, John, you do." "I'm not hungry, Betty." "No, John, you want to create a serial killer." "Honey, who goes around killing cereal?" "No, sweetheart, John, a serial killer. You know, one who kills more than one person." "Oh, that's funny, Betty. Here I've been writing about us, love, grief, compassion, empathy, fine arts, noble pursuits, nature, philosophical and theological subjects, and you want me to write about a murderer?" "Yes, dear. You can make a killing, excuse the pun, and believe me, the fish will start biting." John was animated in the telling, and when he stopped, Sarah looked dubious. "John, you pulling my leg, or did you really have that dream?" "I really did have that dream, Sarah, and not just the one. I had two more within that same week, with Betty providing a bit of the killer's profile, and the one thing the killer does to elicit sympathy from the reader." "John, I'm not into crime books, but you got me interested. I'll have to read yours. Can you tell me anything more? Like a trailer to a movie?" "Well, Sarah, I don't want to give away too much, but let's see. The killer is self-aware regarding his compulsion to kill, and he chooses bad guys for victims." "Oh, like a vigilante?" "Kind of, but it is more to assuage his guilt for killing them." "I see." "And he sends a recording to the victim's family. It is a recording of the victim's last words. He suggests children not be in earshot of the recording because of bad language. I guess that's considerate of him. He does that because he doesn't want to be seen in a bad light. He has no regret. He does ask the family to forgive, not him, but the murdered one." "Ooh, John, a real sicko. I can't wait to read it. I'm going to buy the book. And will you autograph it?" "Of course. Now, how about the literary books?" "Oh, yeah, I'll read those, but first the killer, okay?" Sure, Sarah." "So, John, the serial killer made you a lot of money?" Yes. And fortunately, the literary books did better as a result of my killer's popularity. And I give it all thanks to Betty. And she's watching out for you." "She is, Sarah. I got myself a heavenly muse." "You want to hear something funny?" "Please, John." "A few people here in the home are reading me and have no idea I am among them." John took notice of Sarah's puzzled look. "You see, Sarah, the author's photo is me as a young man. The publisher said young authors still sell better than old ones." "Well, that's interesting. I will have to keep an eye out. Would you like me to divulge your identity?" "Well, I've thought about that, and I prefer the anonymity, Sarah." "Well, you let me know if you change your mind. I'm sure the ladies would love to know you are in their midst." You're too kind." "Hey, you know, Betty's birthday is tomorrow." "John, is there anything special you'd like to do?" I can't think of anything, Sarah. I know if I had more energy, I'd say a drive to Provincetown. Betty and I loved visiting Provincetown. On some visits, we did the bar crawl along Commercial Street. And oh, the loving people we met. So much gaiety, so much joy. "I bet." "So, I'll sit here and remember, Sarah." "Okay. I feel blessed, though, that the memories haven't strayed too far away." "Yes. I'm glad of that, too. Any more tea, John?" "I'm good, thanks." "Well, just let me know." "I will, sweetheart." "Good. Do you have a little more time for me, Sarah?" "I'm not going anywhere, John." I am sadly remembering less of our road trip to Miami. It was funny in that we secretly wondered if the trip from Middletown, Connecticut to Miami, Florida was going to make or break us. Betty's mantra for the trip was, "Going to Miami," sung with a lilt in her voice. I teased Betty. I said, "Honey, the 100th time I hear going to Miami could be the deal breaker. She laughed and retorted, Babyface, your incessant talk and obsession with God, philosophy, and determinism will become the deal breaker. Crumb cake, I thought you loved me for my smarts. Sweetie pie, I do. It's just that I don't want to get fat on your intellect. It is all about portions. Yes, okay, you are right. Why don't you talk about sports, John? I don't know much about sports, Betty. I know, that's the idea. I can still see her 4-foot 10-inch beauty in the passenger seat with feet on the dashboard or a foot out the window. When she saw I was getting a little tired of driving, I assured her that I would pull over if I felt too tired. She would start to sing off-key and move her upper body. Once in a while she would flash her, well, you know, but she would flash only me. Ah, John and naughty Betty. She was the naughty one, Sarah. I was the innocent bystander. I'm sure. John looked out the window for a bit. Everything okay, John? Well, Sarah, the memories of Betty in the hospital are sketchy. Tough memories, John, maybe just as well. You would think, but I'd have to say no. Loss of memory only adds to the grief of losing her. I do remember her having a smile and kind word for all hospital personnel, from doctor to maintenance worker. She had a round, cherub-like face, and her emerald eyes and smile kept you from leaving her presence any time soon. A wonderful sense of humor. It was only natural I became a despairing recluse after she passed away. I know she wants me to be happy, but honey, I can't oblige, dear Betty. Even with the books doing well and living a more comfortable life, what does it matter when I'm without her? I believe the time is near. Time for what, John? Well, I had a dream last night. Betty was in it. She was running around this nursing home looking for something. John. Yes, Sarah. You okay? You kind of spaced out there. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot for a moment what she was looking for, and now I remember. She was looking for a ticket. What kind of ticket, John? I don't know, Sarah. Boy, you sure are nosy. Sorry, John. After a bit, John sat there and mouthed the words, Forgive me, with hand held to his chest. Sarah nodded yes with a smile. I'm going to take a nap, sweetheart. Will I see you later? Well, it is soon closing time for me, but I will see you tomorrow, and I will bring those leftovers. Ah, Sarah, I can't wait. Now, don't tell me. I want it to be a surprise. Copy that, Chief. You sound like one of my characters. Talk about can't wait. I'm going to the bookstore after work. Don't forget to autograph the book for me tomorrow. I'll bring it. I won't, and it will be my pleasure. Thank you, John, my old writer friend. I like that, Sarah. Oh, Sarah, one more thing. When I'm gone to be with Betty, I want you to know that all the royalties are going to Betty's favorite charity, which benefits children. Oh, that's wonderful, John. I'm sure Betty is pleased and proud. By the way, tell Betty to hold off on the summoning. We have more to talk about. Good night, John. Good night, Sarah. God bless. John wrote Sarah a letter before falling asleep. Dear Sarah, a brief note before I fall asleep to tell you I remembered the rest of the dream and wanted to write it down so I don't forget. So, as I was saying, Betty was running around the nursing home here and there and everywhere looking for that ticket, and she found it. It was punched. She started to cry and she started to laugh. Cry and laugh, cry and laugh. What's the matter, Betty? I asked. Oh, she said, I'm so sad for Sarah, she replied. What do you mean? Is she okay? Oh, Sarah's fine, dear. And her family? Oh, they're fine. Then what is it, love? She will miss you, John, very much. Why? I'm real tired and too old to be going anywhere. No, sweetheart, not too tired or old for where you're going. And that is why I'm happy. Well, that's it, Sarah. That was the dream. Maybe I will go to that place tonight in a dream with Betty. I'll tell you all about it tomorrow. Sincerely, love, from the old writer. John died in his sleep. Sarah left to work that day with the bought copy of John's book. She kept the leftovers in the nursing home refrigerator. John would like other patients enjoying the food. She is happy to know her friendship will continue with the old writer whenever she picks up his book. The end.